So someone commented on one of my previous videos about living in North Dakota that living in North Dakota is trading money for misery. I thought that was the stupidest thing. That was like the stupidest comment. Trading money for misery? Like, how stupid. By the way, I'm Shantae Charles. I live in North Dakota. I have been in North Dakota for 12 years. It is a safe place to live. It is affordable to live here. You can get ahead in life. You don't have to struggle and live paycheck to paycheck. You can afford to rent an apartment and not spend all of your paycheck on your rent. Here is one of the few places in America where you can find an apartment for less than $1,000 a month. Here is one of the few places that you can get a job with no problem. Come today, have a job tomorrow. No exaggeration. And if you are black and you are struggling financially, move to North Dakota. Don't get so stuck on, oh, is there any white people there? Yes. Excuse me, are there any black people there? Yes, there are black people here. There's not an overabundance. We are a minority here. But hey, we're the minority in America anyway. But it's safe. You can raise your children here. We do have crime, because crime is everywhere. Let's face it, crime and drugs is everywhere in America. America is a drug culture. So you're not going to get away from crime. But it is very safe here. It's so safe here that in the winter time, when it gets cold, because it does get extremely cold here, when it gets cold, we don't lock our car doors because you won't be able to get in because the lock is going to freeze. But you don't have to worry about anyone stealing your car, jacking your car. In fact, it's so safe here. And some of my old co-workers say I'm crazy for doing this, and they've been here their whole life and they wouldn't do it. But I have gone into the store before and I would just take my wallet out of my purse and leave my purse in the car and run into the store. Come back and my wallet is still my purse and my car is still there. There is very few places here in America that you can do that. That we have a little bit of Mayberry. And when something happens here, crime-wise, I always say, what happened? What is happening to my Mayberry? What happens? What's going on with my little Mayberry town? But compared to most other places here in America, it is very safe. So to say that you're trading money for misery, or you're gonna be miserable just for the sake of making money, it's just downright stupid. Misery is living somewhere and continue to live somewhere where you're barely getting by or not getting by at all. I lived in Georgia before I moved to the North Dakota, and hell, that was misery. That was misery. We had a lot of things to do in Georgia, but I couldn't afford to do anything because I was broke. So when I heard about North Dakota and I had an opportunity to move here because the company that I worked for moved me here, I said, hey, I'm going. Everybody kept saying, are there any black people in North Dakota? I told them, I don't know. I have no idea, but I know it's going to be 2 black people there. When we get there, and that's me and my husband, well, he was my boyfriend at the time, But hell, I don't know. But it's getting ready to be 2 black people there. I wasn't worried about that. I was worried about, okay, getting out of my parents' house, because I had moved back home with my parents because I was broke. I was broker than broke, and I was tired of it. So I heard about North Dakota, and I moved here, and I am not miserable. My boyfriend is now my husband. We have 4 kids. Living in Georgia, we wouldn't have had 4 kids. I could not take care of myself. So why in the whole hell would I have had some kids and I'm already broke living at my parents' house? I wasn't gonna bring any kids into this world not knowing how I could take care of them. And I'm the type of woman who, my dad taught me to be independent, not to try to get a man to take care of you and relying on a man. He taught me, anything you want in life, you do it for yourself. You want a car, whatever it is, you get a job, you work for it. But when and if you meet a man and you get married, yes, he is supposed to be able to provide and take care of his family. And if he's not a provider, then you need to get rid of him. But while you're single, you need to be taking care of yourself. Don't depend on no man. So I wasn't trying to like find somebody to take care of me and all of that. Like some women that's like, oh, I'm beautiful. Even people that aren't all that, you know, they figure just because they're a woman that, oh, I just find a man. I find a man to take care of me. No, you have a brain. Women have brains. We're smart. We're resilient. Use your brains. When God was passing out brains, he did not skip over women. But to say living in North Dakota is trading money for misery, that's just stupid. Misery is living paycheck to paycheck and not knowing how you can get ahead. Living paycheck to paycheck, and not because you're wasting your money, you're not budgeting your money wisely, you're spending frivolously, but living paycheck to paycheck because you don't make enough money and the cost of living is simply too high. That's misery. Misery would be living somewhere and having children that you can't afford to take care of, or you need a government assistance to take care of your children. Now, I'm not knocking government assistance because I have fallen on hard times and I was on government assistance, but I didn't stay there. I wasn't like, oh, free, whatever. I did not like it. I did not like it, not one bit. And I tried my darndest and got off of it because I didn't think of it as a free ride and that the government was responsible to take care of me simply because I'm a United States citizen or I was born here. No, that's just laziness and stupid. But thank God that we live in a country that if you fall on hard times, there is help, but it's not meant for you to stay there forever. But misery would be not being able to take care of my children, or if my children needed a new pair of shoes, having to say no, we don't have the money, or having to choose between one kid or the other to get new clothes or get new shoes or to get a coat. Because I saw somebody online, she didn't have a job, talking about she was wanting to stay at home with her kids, which I understand that, wanting to stay at home with your kids. But if you're not able to afford to stay home with your kids and your husband or your boyfriend or significant other, baby daddy, whoever, doesn't make enough money for you to be able to stay home and live a good, comfortable life and take care of your children, you don't have no business staying at home. You need to take your behind to work. Take your behind to work. Because I thought it was very sad that she's like, oh, we can only get one of the kids' shoes. He made enough money for today to get one of the children's shoes. And I'm not knocking anybody who is really trying hard, but life is just doing what life does. Because sometimes you work hard, you're striving to get ahead, and it's just life. But if you're just lazy, talking about I'm a stay-at-home mom, and your kids aren't disabled, your kids aren't sick, there's nothing wrong with you, and you won't get a job, and the person you're with does not make enough money for you guys to be self-sufficient, that's some nonsense. That's nonsense, and that's laziness, and that's a poor excuse of a parent. It's a poor excuse of a parent. It just is, and it's sad because we have a lot of people here that think like that. Now, if your children are small and it makes more sense for you to stay home than paying daycare because the amount of money you make is going to just go to daycare, I can understand that. But at the same token, okay, get you a skill that's going to allow you to get a job that pays more money so you can afford to take care of yourself. And I don't understand women. I don't understand women that they don't want to help a man build. Because even though my dad taught me that, okay, you be independent, whatever you want, you get it on your own. But when you get a man, husband, he's supposed to be a provider. And listen, my parents have been married 44 years. 44 years. They still in love and they still like each other. But even though my dad taught me that, I didn't feel like just because I got married, that means that, oh, now I just do nothing. I do nothing. No. I'm helping my husband build. My husband, he makes really good money. He makes money, enough money to where, although I have an income, we purchased our home using just his income. We said, to keep us from being in debt, we're going to buy a home on just one income. And we're going to buy a home that's not at the top of what the bank says we're approved for. We're going to buy a home according to what we feel like a comfortable mortgage payment will be and what my husband can afford to pay the mortgage on just his pay. And with the income that I bring in, that's where we buy an investment property. How we buy an investment property, that's how we stay out of debt. We use that money for investment to help build us for retirement. And not me just like, oh, my husband makes a lot of money, so I'm going to do nothing. When all of my children are school-age children. My children are school-age children. We have 4 children. Our youngest child is 4. And he goes to school. He goes to kindergarten readiness program. And he's in school all day from 8 to 3. So I'm not just saying, oh, I'm just going to do nothing because my husband has a job and he makes really good money. No, because I'm in the mindset of what happens if something happens to my husband. What happens if he gets injured? What happens if he can't work anymore? What if he can't work anymore? So what am I just going to get rid of him and trade him in for somebody else? For somebody else? And there's a lot of women that think like that. But I'm of the mindset of, what if my husband gets injured? And God forbid, what if he dies? And yes, he has life insurance to continue providing for us. If something happens to him, I have life insurance too. But I'm of the mindset of, let's build something together. Let's build something together. So, no, living in North Dakota is not trading money for misery. No. And we have all the things you need here to live a good life. Now, do we have clubs and all that? No, which I'm past the age of going to the club and all that foolishness. We don't have all of that, but we have everything you need to survive. We have it here. And the things that we don't have that we want, it's called online shopping. Online shopping. And how many times do you go on vacation a year? The average person takes 1 to 2 vacations a year. So, you travel. Yes, it gets cold here, but you travel. You get out and you travel. And living here gives you the option to be able to travel. Because if you're living somewhere where the cost of living is high, the pay is low, you're struggling to get by, you're not even getting by, you can't even afford to go on vacation. You're living somewhere that, oh, it's nice weather, it's nice, it's sunny. Yeah, but you can't afford to do anything. You can barely afford to pay your light bill, let alone go on a vacation. So, yes, give me North Dakota. Give me the cold. I don't care. Because I sleep easy at night, knowing that all of our bills are paid. My children don't have to worry about coming home and the lights possibly being off. Whatever they need, they have it. And they have it when they need it. And they have some of their wants. So I hope this encourages you that if you are struggling, living paycheck to paycheck, barely getting by, move to somewhere that's more affordable. Even consider moving to North Dakota. If you're black, cut out all that foolishness about, oh, there's hardly no black people there. Who cares? Who cares? We don't have any racial problems here. Now, I'm not going to say there's no racist here. Now, I haven't encountered anyone who has used a racial slur against me or just was downright ignorant, but I would never say there's no racist here because we have ignorant people everywhere. It doesn't matter where you live. You're always going to find somebody ignorant. But we don't have racial tension here. We don't have problems here. People leave you alone. They mind their business and they leave you alone. So if you want to move somewhere, you want to live somewhere safe, where you can raise your kids and don't have to worry about the wrong crowd influencing them. Well, you know, when you go to school, you have the good with the bad. It don't matter where you live at. You're going to always have some kids that are unruly, undisciplined, and kids that just don't listen to their parents. They were raised right, but you always have some kids that even though they were raised right, they just don't listen. They're hard-headed. Their parents try to teach them right, but they don't listen. They're hard-headed. You're always going to have those kids. But you don't have to worry about anybody recruiting your kids to a gang here. Not that I'm aware of. Unlike when I lived in Georgia, they have a gang problem there. And in Florida, there's a gang problem. Here, one of the things I love most about living where we live at here in North Dakota is, of course, my children are black. I'm married to a black man. But my kids do not have to worry about kids talking about, oh, what you wearing? What are you wearing? Oh, you don't have on the latest this. You don't have on the latest that. Now, my kids are in elementary school. My oldest child, he's in the 5th grade. But I see even people in 5th grade in other places worrying about, oh, you this what you're wearing? My kids were still wearing light up shoes and just as happy as can be. Because the kids here were not worried about, oh, you don't have on this, you don't have on that sneaker. The only thing clothing wise my child wanted was, what are those Heeley sneaker skates? He wanted those. Other than that, my child has never came home talking about, I want a pair of Jordans. The other kids at schools are wearing Jordans, talking about a Gucci and this and that. He doesn't care. My child can go to school mismatching, which he does, and I had to stop arguing with him. What are you wearing? Can we do something different? I had to say, you know what, you're clean. You brushed your teeth, you washed your face, you put on your deodorant. Go ahead. If that's what you want to wear, go ahead. Because the kids aren't picking on him, talking about, oh, your wardrobe. What are you wearing? And he has plenty of friends. My children have plenty of friends. And my oldest son, I don't think he has not one black friend. And not that he doesn't want black friends. I think it just doesn't matter to him. And I love it that all of his friends are white or of a different race. I love it. And they don't treat him any differently. I love it. And they get along just fine. His one best friend, they've been friends since they were in like the 2nd or 3rd grade. Now sometimes when they do sporting events and stuff, they're the only black kid. And when my kids went to private school, they were the only black kids in the class. But hey, nobody treated them any differently. No different. So don't be afraid to get out of your comfort zone, do some research, and move somewhere where it's more affordable, where it's safe, affordable, and you can easily get ahead in life. Until next time, thanks for watching. Oh, hey, if you're finding this information, these videos about being black and living in North Dakota, hit like, hit subscribe. Share this with somebody you know. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay blessed and a prosperous future to you.